Have you ever wondered why you'll pay $800 for a piece of cardboard, but you won't spend $40 on dinner? Or you're wearing the same underwear for the last 2 years, or the same sweater for the last 3 years, but you got no problem dropping like a grand on Pokemon card or a sports card. I'm going to get into the psychology of our behavior in the sports card and Pokemon world. Hopefully, this will help you make better decisions moving forward. I'm also going to tell you how to take advantage of this when other people are falling into these psychological traps. All right, let's talk about FOMO and social proof. You've probably heard the first one, but probably don't understand the second one. When somebody posts a PSA 10 on Instagram or on YouTube, it's digital social proof. That card instantly feels more desirable. Or if they post a flashy sale, or you see like stacks of cash flying around, you don't actually see what's behind that card. You don't see how much they paid, how much the other guy paid. You don't understand all the margins. You don't even know if they paid tax or not. And then down the road, you have forgotten about this. Even if the card loses value, it's still in your mind, which is kind of crazy if you think about it, because a lot of cards do lose value and nobody's flashing that like, whoa, what's up? I mean, I tried to do a video about that a long time ago where I got everybody's biggest flops. So I don't know, I may bring that idea back. That's the hidden one. FOMO is different. That's the stuff that drives bidding wars. And you see a comp go up and you say, I've heard so many people say this. They'll say, I'm worried it will get out of my price range forever. I've heard people say that about the Star 101. I've heard people say that about first edition Pokemon. If I don't grab one now, I'll never be able to afford it again. That is a very scary thought. It's the same principle where, I never go to the grocery store hungry because the first thing I do is just grab all the crap in the middle, You want to go to the grocery store after you've eaten lunch because you can think clearly. That applies to FOMO and social proof. Always make sure that you're thinking clearly and that you aren't making a decision based on, how you feel, or if you're scared or anxious or, something like that. That's how meme stocks happen. And it's not a great way. You might get lucky. You might do okay if you buy the right card, but long term, it's a horrendous investment strategy in both cards and stocks, to be honest. All right, let's talk about anchoring. Anchoring is important in a negotiation. If anybody has ever taken a negotiation course here, you'll learn about BATNA and anchoring. And anchoring is just the first number that's thrown out there. So when you see somebody talking about a card, they throw the first number out, and that often drives the negotiation. That's why when they say you're going to, if you're going to go to a used car dealer, the first thing you say is, bullshit, I'll give you half. You just anchor it far, far in the other direction. But it also applies to what you see. So if you see, a Jordan card for, $12 million or $400,000 sell, it makes every other Jordan card feel cheap, even though the supply didn't change. That's anchoring bias. And, half the time, some of these cards aren't even rare. They're just marketed that way. They've got numbers and they've got zebra stripes and things like that. But then you don't realize there's like 50,000 copies of something. That's not the case with Honus Wagner, right? Or 52 Mantle. Actually, this is a decent amount of 33 Gaudy Ruths, but you get the idea. And I think the illusion of rarity is something that's troubling, and especially at this day and age. Like, really make sure what you're buying has some value on its own. It's not like forced to be valuable and forced to be scarce. It just is. That's a way better way to do it. And always watch for anchoring in either negotiations or with card prices and auctions and things the auction houses post. Just because Charizard sold for X doesn't mean you need to run out and go nuts for the other, Blastoise or Mewtwo or the other first edition Pokemon. And it applies to MJ too. So this is how you play it, right? Like, you have to understand that these psychological dynamics are happening. People are anchoring, so therefore you can anchor them. Always make sure you do this if you're about to negotiate for a card on eBay or on Instagram or at a card show. Really think about the first number you throw out there. I would argue there's a few great books on this. Getting to Yes, Getting Past No, those are fantastic books. I'd read both of them. There's another one written by an ex-FBI negotiator that's very, very good. But think about that first number you're going to throw out there because it's very meaningful. But also think about the marketing behind prices and behind cards and how you're being marketed to. Always think about that. Don't fall for it. Don't be stupid, okay? Don't run out and do something because an influencer tells you to. You'll very rarely see me to tell you to buy something. I'll break down some things like the Skybox prototype set and why I think it's a decent investment, but I'll never tell you to buy something because everybody's different and everybody collects differently. This is the thing that kills me. It's like these emotional dips during the off season or scandals or if there's market fatigue like at after the national. Use these dips to your advantage. Don't just buy something, don't buy a baseball player as he's in the home run derby during the All-Star break. Do it in the off season when the cards dip by 20-30%. Nobody cares anymore. You have to understand that as well and understand the narrative cycles that align themselves with these print runs and these releases. Fanatics is about to release their first licensed basketball product in a long time. There's going to be a big bump. There's going to be a big, big bump. Do you think those cards will be the same price a month before the next release next year? No, of course not. So time your decisions accordingly. Now, if you want to go after that Cooper Flag debut patch, go for it. But if you're trying to build long-term value, this is a better time to buy, a better time to open those boxes. So really, all in all, the next time you're thinking about buying a smart investment, just understand what your brain is doing at the time and assess how it impacts your wallet and really think about logically, mechanically, if you really want to buy something and at what price. And that will help you collect and invest a lot better in both Pokemon and sports cards.